Hello, session number 24, and I hope you're all still keeping well and exercising regularly. I know these are stressful times, so if you feel the need of a little bit of relaxation, remember you can go back to session number 6 because there is some relaxation at the end of that. You don't have to do it all, you could fast forward and just go right to the end and do the relaxation bit. You can do that as many times as you like. Anyway, let's get started. Back of the head, shoulder blades, buttocks and heels up against that imaginary wall. Open the chest. Tailbone pointing down, pressing tummy button to the backbone, pulling up into the rib cage. Feel that pelvic floor, pull up. And then opening up the hips, buttocks engaging, knees rolling out a little bit, and of course encouraging the arch of the foot. Spreading out the toes, weight even between the little toe, the big toe and the heels. And of course, focusing on breathing full and wide into the ribs, so you don't interfere with you pull up and pull in. And then starting off with a shoulder shrug, squeeze the shoulders up and stretch the fingers down. So maybe breathing in to squeeze up, breathing out to push down. So just putting those shoulders right up into the ears and then sliding the shoulder blades down your back. Keeping the back of the head, the shoulder blades, the buttocks and the heels up against that imaginary wall. And of course your peach underneath your chin, between your chin and your chest, keeping the length through the back of the neck. And then holding that there, doing a bend to the side, lengthening back up. Back to the shoulder shrug, pushing down, and then a bend to the side. Back to centre, squeezing up, stretching down, trying to keep everything stable from the waist down. Keeping those core muscles switched on, keeping the headlamps on the hip bones pointing forward, headlamps on the chest pointing forward. Warming up the spine and the shoulders with that shoulder shrug, and then that little bend to the side, reaching down rib to hip. And then one more shoulder shrug, and then take it into a squat. Taking the hips back and down, keeping the chest up, pushing up nice and tall. Do a squeeze up, push down, big bend to the side, trying to keep the weight even between the feet. Squeeze up, push down, big bend to the side, and then another shoulder shrug, push down, and a deep squat. Holding that there, pushing up nice and tall. And just stay with the squat. Hips back and down, knees going straight forward over the toes. Trying to let the knees roll in or out, keeping the chest lifted. So the headlamps on the hip bones point forward as they do on the chest. Keeping the shoulders back and down, make sure the weight goes into the heels. And then take it down and hold. Now lift the heels up off the floor and balance. Hold on to that orange between the knees. Put the heels down and push up nice and tall. Doing a deep squat so the weight goes back into the heels, the knees don't feel the pressure, so you're not pushing the weight too far forward. Then lifting the heels up and balance, taking the weight on the balls of the feet, putting the heels down and pushing up tall. Keep those knees pointing forward as you squat, lifting the heels to get those calf muscles working, strengthening the ankles. Try and keep the shoulders down as you push up nice and tall. Then again, take the hips back and down, hold, lift the heels and balance. Now see if you can leave the heels off the floor and push up, balance, and then put the heels down. If that's too much, of course, you can always put the heels down before you push up. Taking the hips back and down, keep that chest up. Lift the heels, hold and balance, and then push up all the way up nice and tall, putting the heels down. And again, deep, deep squat, lift those heels up, pushing all the way up, hold and balance. Now see if you can hold the heels off the floor while you do a little sit and hold, and then put the heels down and push up nice and tall. So taking the hips back, lift the heels, core muscles working to balance, so you lengthen up, hold, shoulders back and down, and then taking the hips back and down again. And let's see if you can push up, just leave the heels off the floor and do that little sit and push up. that's too much, of course, you put the heels down at any point and stay with the squat only. But here you're adding in your calf muscles and your core muscles to balance. Maybe a couple more, maybe breathing in to go down, breathing out to push up. There's a little bit of wobbling, doesn't matter. And then push up nice and tall. Hold that there, the wobbling doesn't matter. You're strengthening your core and your ankles, your thighs, your buttocks. Holding those heels off the floor if you can, a little bit longer, and then putting the heels back down. And then just taking a big step back with that right foot. Check the back toes point forward, check the front toes point forward, bringing the weight forward. Press the heel down, that back heel down, make sure the knee doesn't go any further forward than the toes at the front. And then just reaching forward and squeeze back with the arms. Stretch forward and pull back. Opening the chest and working that posture muscle across the upper back as you pull back. And stretch the calf, keeping that chest up. And then relax there, bringing the arms back down. And then change legs. Remember, you can always have your feet a little bit apart to help with the balance. Checking that the feet both point forward. Then you can feel that good stretch in the calf. When you bring the weight forward, press the heel down. And then from there, just swing the arms forward and back. Warming up those shoulders and get a good stretch through the calf. And then we've had a good stretch there. Bringing the foot back into alignment. Bring the feet into first position. Heels turned in and the toes turned out. Immediately your buttocks will clench. And then hugging onto a big beach ball, keeping the shoulders down. Plie, so the knees go out over the toes. And push up tall. Try to keep the heels on the floor while you do that. Just go down as low as you can without lifting the heels. Squeeze those inner thighs together as you push up, then adding on. So you do a knees right out as you twist around to your right side. Then you bring it back and you squeeze the thighs together and the buttocks. Knees go out and you twist to your left, but you keep your hips pointing forward. Pushing up and squeeze those thighs together. Core muscles working to keep those hips pointing forwards. There's no movement through the hips, just going up and down. As you bend the knees out to the side. Keep the nose in line with the sternum. And then adding on to that. Knees go out and you twist. Hold to breathe in. Breathing out, peel that right arm away. Turn, look along the arm. Bring the arm back around your ball. Push up tall as you squeeze those thighs together. Plie and twist to your left side. Peeling the arm away. Turn the head, making sure nothing moves below the waist. Bring the arm back. Push up and squeeze. And you really feel those buttocks clench. Knees going out and twist. Turn the head. Look along that arm, getting flexibility into the neck, as well as the shoulder and the shoulder girdle. And the hips and the knees. And your spine as you twist. Turn the head and look along the arm. Bring it back. Push up tall and squeeze, keeping the shoulders down. One more time either side. Just twist and reach. Bringing the arm back, push up, squeeze together. Just think about sliding your back down that imaginary wall. You're not leaning forward at all, just straight down. And then straight up and squeeze those thighs together. Bringing the arms back down by your side. And bringing the feet back into alignment. And then if you just want to get your mat and we'll have a little go at a roll down. So if you just want to stand at the back of your mat, or even on the back of your mat might be better. Back of the head, shoulder blades, buttocks and heels up against that imaginary wall. Relax those knees. And drop the chin and do a lovely roll down towards the toes. Drop, drop, drop. Keep that tummy button pulled up and in. Hold that there. And then nodding the head. Shake, 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 shake the head. And slowly come up. Link by link, bone by bone. Right back up against that imaginary wall. Keep that tailbone pointing down with your zip up and hollow. And again, drop the chin. Slowly, slowly down. Relax those knees, arms close into the legs. Just go down as far as you can. Nodding, nodding.
And then shake, shake, shake. Just get some release in the tension in the upper back, the neck and the shoulders. And slowly come up. Use those tummy muscles all the time to support your back. And then one more time, just drop the chin. Peel yourself off that wall like that piece of wet wallpaper. Hold it there. Nodding, nodding, nodding. Shake, 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 shake. And then bend the knees a little bit. Put the hands onto the floor and walk all the way out onto your hands and knees. And then all the way down onto your front. Taking the arms out, crucifix position. Bend the elbows at a 90-degree angle. So just taking a moment to set that up. Lengthening through the legs, shoulders, hips, knees and ankles aligned. Tummy button pulled up off the hot stone. Little cup of tea on the back of your pelvis. And the peach underneath the chin, between the chin and the chest. Just make sure the elbows are directly out from the shoulders. They're not pointing down towards the waist. And then from there, just take a breath in, and as you breathe out, lift the head, the shoulders off the chest. Keep the eyes focused on the floor, and then gently take it back down. If you can, forehead on the floor. If not, just turn your head to the side and let your cheek rest. Exhale to lift, and inhale to lower. So you're lifting with your shoulders, not your neck. Keep the ears pointing forward, the peach underneath the chin. Remember, you can always turn your head to the side, let the cheek rest. Lift, turn the head, and look at the floor, and then as you go down, turn the cheek, but try not to lift the head out of alignment with the spine. So just exhaling up and inhaling down. Now see if you can lift the elbows off the floor, pushing all the way up, hold to breathe in, and breathing out to gently take it down. If that's too much, of course, you leave the elbows on the floor and just lift the chest and the head and the shoulders. Again, exhale up and inhale down. Slide your shoulder blades down your back, shoulders away from the ears. Keep lengthening through the legs, tummy button pulled right up and in. And then see if you can add on to that. See if you can lift the upper body, hold to breathe in, breathing out. Now turn your head, bend your left elbow and look over that right shoulder. Everything below the waist stays still. Hold to breathe in, and breathing out, bring it back and gently take it down. Then you go the other way. So exhale up, inhale, hold. Twist and look over your left shoulder. Just bend that right elbow. Hold that there. And then gently bring it back and put it back down. So you're doing a lift and a twist. And then gently bring it back and put it back down. You're getting a little twist on your middle. Twisting, twisting. Turn the head and look over the shoulder. Bring it back, fully extend the arms and gently down. Nothing moving below the waist, and just twist. And then lengthen up. Remember, you can always, of course, leave the forearms on the floor, just lift and turn the head. And then bring it back and put it down. As if you're lifting up, bending that left elbow, looking over your right shoulder, getting a little bit of a twist around your middle, but still keeping everything stable from the waist down. And one more time to the other side, working into your back. Load bearing, of course, for your wrists, and stabilising everything from the waist down. And then just relax back down. Then perhaps bring the hands underneath the forehead. Let the forehead rest on the backs of the hands. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. And then lengthening through the legs. Make sure the shoulders, hips, knees and ankles are aligned. And then just lift one leg and put it down. And lift the other leg and put it down. So just doing alternate single leg lift. Working into the buttock, but try and keep everything below the waist still. Just lift and lower. Lengthen through the leg. It's not about lifting high, but keeping the torso as stable as you can while you do that. Just lift and lower. And then what about doing a single, single, double? So single leg, and then both together, lengthening through the legs. So you do exhale up, inhale down, exhale up, inhale down, and hover both the legs if you can, adding in the lower back. Of course, if that's too much, you stay with the alternate singles, or of course you could continue with just the doubles, lengthening through the legs, pushing those legs away from you. It's not about lifting high, trying not to bend from the knee, otherwise your hamstring will work rather than your buttock. Those core muscles working, keep that tummy button pulled up off your hot stone to keep everything stable in your torso. And then from there, just relax there. And then going back to the back work, bringing the arms down by your side, lengthening through the neck, maybe forehead on the floor if you can, but again, you can always turn your head to the side and let your cheek rest. Keep lengthening through those legs. And then exhale to lift the upper body and reach back, and breathe in to go down. So you haven't got the arms to help this time. If, of course, it's too much, you can take the arms back to crucifix position with the elbows bent at a 90-degree angle and allow the arms to help to stabilise you. But if you can, keep the arms down by the side, reach back and gently come back down. Exhaling to lift and inhale to lower. If you find your legs are lifting, take the legs out into a wider V shape, turn the big toes in towards one another and let the heels flop apart. And go with the exhale up and inhale down. You can always turn the head to the side, or if you can, it's the forehead on the floor. Again, exhale up, inhale down. Little reach back, try and have those ears pointing forward, the peach underneath the chin. And then from there, see if you can add a little something onto that. See if you could lift the arms up, and then lift the arms up higher, lower the arms, and gently take it back down. So you could do exhale up, inhale reach, exhale lift, inhale lower, and gently back down. If that's too much, of course, you don't need to do that extra breath. You can just lift and reach back. But if you can, you add that extra lift, lower, and down. Nice and smooth. Reaching back, lift the arms, lower the arms, and gently bring it back down. Now if you want to, you could add your legs into this. You take the legs out into a wider V shape. Bring them back in from the wider V shape. And then lift up, reach back, hold to breathe in, and then gently go down. Then of course you can add the arms as well. Lift up, reach back, lift, lower, and then legs, arms, chest, shoulders, forehead, go down. But you don't have to do it all. You can do the upper body first and reach back, lift up, lower, and go down. And then you can lift leg or legs. You can do single, single, double, or you can lift them both up together, reach back, lift, lower, and down. You could even do one leg, so you could lift up, reach back, hold, and go down, and then do the other leg. Lift up, reach back. You could even do single, single, double with that as well. Or of course, you could add a little something onto that. You can lift up, reach back, hold, and then exhale up, inhale lower, exhale up, inhale lower, and maybe up to 5 times while you keep your eyes focused on the floor. And then, my goodness me, I've lost count, probably about 5, and then take it back down. But if that's too much, you don't need to do that. You can lift once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, or not at all. Keep lengthening through those legs. So let's just lift up, reach back, lift the chest higher, don't forget to look at the floor. Exhale up, inhale lower. Exhale up, inhale lower. Exhale up, inhale lower. I think it might be 2 more, but you know I'm really bad at the counting. And then gently take it back down. But you don't have to do it all. You can decide how many you want to do. And again, lifting up, stretch it back, lift and lower. So the back of the arm is working, the buttocks, the back, and of course opening the chest, posture muscle working a little bit across the upper back. Now how many is that? And then again, down when you've done approximately 5. If you want to do more, just pause your video and do some more. And then when you've done enough, come up onto the hands and knees and arch the back. Drop the head, pull the tummy button up and in, and stretch in the back of your neck all the way down to your tail. Drop that head right down, push the hips towards the head. Then because you work the posture muscle across the upper back, crossing the arms, please, at the wrist, you can come up onto your knuckles if that works better. You can bring your hands closer into your knees, which will give you a bigger arch. And then when you're ready, change the cross over, pushing the hands down into the floor, arching the back up, dropping the head down. Then of course you work the lower back and the buttocks, so if you can, you sit back onto the heels, let the forehead rest down, and stretch lower back and buttocks. Remember, you can always stretch the arms out in front. You can sit on your bottom, swing your legs around in front of you, reach over the beach ball for your toes. Or you could sit and hug the knees into the chest and drop the head over the knees, whichever works better. But if you're sinking back onto the heels, you might want to just open those knees a little bit, get those hips back further, sinking right back. Remember, try not to lift the hips up to get the head down. If you find there is a gap between the forehead and the floor, try not to lift the hips up, just make a fist, put your head on the fist. If there's still a gap, you put the other fist on top of it. And hold that there. Get a good stretch through the lower back and the buttocks. And then if you just want to come into a sitting position, please. Swing the legs round in front of you, sitting up nice and tall, nice straight back. Orange between the knees, peach underneath the chin, shoulders back and down. And then putting the hands behind you, pointing fingers towards your hips. So elbows pointing back towards the wall behind you. Peach underneath your chin. And then just bending the elbows and pushing straight back up tall. Trying to keep a nice straight back there. Breathing in to bend and breathing out to fully straighten the arms, because that is working into the backs of the arms. Breathing in to bend the elbows, breathing out to push up. Focusing forward, looking over that orange. Now, if you find that's too much for your wrists, it is not comfortable, then just sit and bring the fists underneath the armpits, elbows up high behind you, and then unbend and bend the arms. You can always do that instead. Or you could take the hands up, or bring the hands together, arms by the ears, ears by the arms, and bend the elbows and push straight back up. You could do that instead without putting the pressure on the wrist. But if you can, obviously more body weight to work the backs of the arms here. Then if you wanted to work a little bit harder, you would add a leg in. Slide one leg out and then slide back in. Then breathing in to slide out, breathing out to push up tall. Make sure you get a nice straight back each time. Lengthening through the legs. So getting flexibility into the hips and the knees as well. Pushing the heel away from you. Get a little bit of flexibility into the ankle. Lengthening through the legs. Really feel the backs of the arms work. Then maybe you could try both legs together. Sliding out, sliding in. Sliding out, sliding in. Of course, that's too much. You don't need to add that on. And then if you wanted to, you could make it even more challenging. You can hover the feet off the floor and extend and bend. Now, you're taking it away from the arms working, more into your core muscles working. Hip flexors, quadriceps, hamstrings. So if you want the backs of the arms to work, stay with the feet on the floor. More core work, you hover and extend and bend. And then maybe you could make that even more challenging. If you want to stay with that, you cross the arms over and extend and bend and extend and bend. But again, if that's too much, you stay with any which one of the earlier options. You do as many as you feel you can manage, of whichever level. And then just hug those knees into the chest. Drop the head over the knees. And have a stretch. Just drop the head. Stretch your back, shoulders down. And then if you just want to sit and lift the right arm up, drop the hand behind your head, ease the arm back, stretch the back of the arm, elbow pointing up, tailbone pointing down, nice straight back. Remember, if you're sitting and this is not comfortable, you can always get a cushion and pop it underneath your bottom, and that should make it a little bit more comfortable and get your back up straighter. And then change, take it straight up, drop it down, give it a push back. Don't forget the peach underneath the chin. Ease the arm back, stretch the back of the arm. And just hold that there. And relax. And then the best way you know how, rolling down onto your back, please. So maybe just stretch the legs out, reach forward, get a good stretch of those hamstrings, tilt the pelvis, create a C shape, and link by link, use those tummy muscles to go down as slowly as you can. Or remember, you can hold on behind your thigh, just to help you roll back down with some support, or put the hands behind you and use the hands to support to bring you back down. And then just slide the feet in, so the knees are up, feet flat on the floor. Take a moment to set up, stretch your fingertips towards your toes. Orange between the knees, peach underneath the chin, little grape in the small of your back, and trade marbles across the pelvis. Fingertips behind the head, elbows right back. Pressing the head into the hands and the hands into the head. Create a little bit of a pressure there. Keeping the elbows right back all the time, breathing in, nod your head. Breathing out, curl up, crush the grape, look underneath the orange, hold to breathe in, and breathing out to go down. Trying to keep that pressure on the hand and the head so that the neck gets supported and it's not going to kick in before your stomach muscles do. So hopefully those tummy muscles will work harder. Breathing in to nod, breathing out to curl forward, crush that grape, hold to breathe in, and breathing out to roll back down. So that's all you're doing, sliding your rib cage into your hips, trying not to move anything below the waist, trying not to pull on the head. You're keeping those elbows right back, but you're still keeping that pressure, head, hands to head. Curling forward. Really give that grape a good crushing. So it's just breathing in to nod, breathing out to curl, push forward, slide those ribs into the hips. Nothing moving below the waist. And hopefully the stomach muscles will kick in before the neck does. If it gets to be too much at any point, of course, for the neck, you can always pelvic tilt. Work it from the other end instead. And then maybe two more. Curling forward, push, push, push. And then last time, keep that pressure on the head and the hands. And then gently down. Release and let the head roll from side to side. Ease out any tension in the neck. Reaching for your toes, get the length through the neck and the shoulders. And then going into a pelvic tilt. So no trade marbles now, still got the grape and the peach and the orange. And then tilt the pelvis and crush the grape as you exhale and inhale to release. Scooping out the tummy. Bring your hips in towards your rib cage this time. Keeping the feet rooted into the floor. Weight even between the little toe, the big toe, and the heels. And just isolate the pelvis. So you're pressing down and crushing that grape from the other end this time. And then see if you can, lift one leg up into tabletop position near the sit bone, chin parallel to the floor. Press your back into the mat, lift the other leg up into tabletop position. And then exhale just to bring the hips again into the rib cage. Now you're not swinging the legs will move just because your hips, your pelvis is moving. So keep your knees over your sit bones and you swing the hips. So there's deep, deep abdominal muscles working. Keep reaching for your toes, keep the length in the neck. Keep that 90-degree angle at the knees so you're not bending the knees and pushing into your chest with your knees. It's your hip bones that are coming in to the rib cage. Keeping the chin down over the peach, try and relax the neck and the shoulders. Now, if you wanted to work a little bit harder, you can bend the elbows. So that takes the hands and the forearms away, so they're not stabilising you quite so much. If it's too much, of course, you put your feet back onto the floor. You can even just have one foot on the floor and still tilt the pelvis, and then every so often change legs. You can do that. You can always put the arms back down. Now again, if you wanted to work harder still, you can bring the arms up towards the ceiling. So no arms to help you stabilise at all, and just swing those hips in. It's not a big movement. Making sure you just bring the knees back over to that 90-degree angle after you've tilted your pelvis in towards your chest. So really feel those stomach muscles work. And then from there, if you just want to see if you can add a little pulse, tilt and do a pulse. 1, 2, 3, and release. But you don't take the feet any further forward. You keep those knees at that 90-degree angle at the hip and the knee. And then you exhale in and pulse 1, 2, 3, and release. Actually, just let your breathing flow with this one. And you should really be starting to feel those tummy muscles work. 3 little pulses and release. Try to keep the rib cage as stable as you can. The neck is relaxed. And then if you just want to hug those knees into the chest, maybe have a little rock side to side. And then bring your hands on tops of the knees, just circle them around. Get some flexibility into your hips. First one way, and then the other way. Just circling around. Release, release the back. And then one foot down, the other foot down, checking your position again. And then fingertips behind the head, elbows right back. Lift one leg up to tabletop. If you can, press your back into the mat, lift the other leg up into tabletop. If it's too much, leave both feet or even one foot on the floor. Breathing in, nod your head. Breathing out, curl up. And breathe in to release. Curl it up. And release. So your ribs to hips and your hips to your ribs with control. Head pressed into the hands, hands into the head, but keeping the elbows right back, supporting the head. And then what about adding the pulsing? So you pulse it in, 1, 2, 3, release without going down. 1, 2, 3, release. 1, 2, 3, release. It's a really small movement, but you should really feel that very strongly in those tummy muscles. And don't forget to breathe, trying to hold your breath. Support the head, hands to head. Ribs to hips, hips to ribs. 1, 2, 3. And then if you want to carry on, you carry on. Otherwise you put one foot down, the other foot down, let the head and the shoulders rest. Stretch the legs out, take the arms over the top of your head and give yourself a full body stretch from the tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes. Stretch and lengthen. Stretch through those rectus abdominis muscles and those hip flexors that you've worked very hard. Lengthening the legs. And then if you just want to push up onto your elbows, please. With the elbows directly underneath your shoulders, slide the feet in, knees up, feet flat on the floor. If at any point this is not comfortable for your shoulders or your elbows, you can do this lying on your back instead. This will just take away a little bit of stability, so the core muscles have to work a little bit more, and of course upper body strength. And then just lift your legs up into tabletop position. Bring the knees in together and then circle the knees around. Circling, circling. Maybe one circle on an in-breath, one circle on an out-breath. And just gradually kind of increase that range of movement. So you're rolling your hips around. The upper body from the rib cage up stays as still as you can, moving that pelvis. And then maybe just change direction, make it go the other way. Circling. You could do half a circle on an in-breath, half a circle on an out-breath. Really slow and with control. Now then, if you would like to work a little bit harder, what you could do is you could straighten the legs. And then change direction, make the circle go the other way again, and circle those legs. Now, of course, if that's too much, you stay with the bent legs, or there is a kind of halfway house that you could do. You could do, as you bring the legs in, you straighten them up, and then as you take them out, which is the harder bit, you bend at the knees, and then straighten as you bring the legs in. You could do that, which would be the halfway house. And then when you're ready, change direction and make them go the other way. So your legs long, or you can do the halfway house, or you could do just the bent legs. Remember, you can lie on your back and do this as well. But of course, if you're lying on your back, you put your grape in the small of your back, and then crush the grape as you circle the hips around. And then when you've done enough of those, just putting one foot down, the other foot down, and then stretch the legs out, roll gently back onto your back, and extend the arms out again. Just stretch those hip flexors, concentrate on lengthening through the legs. Stretch and lengthen, breathe. Still, of course, full and wide into the ribs. And then, if you can, with grace, elegance and control, breathing in, nod your head, float the arms up towards the ceiling, breathing out, peel off, up to sitting. If that is not comfortable to do that, of course, you can hold on behind one thigh, pull up. You can put your hands behind your lower back, press down with the palms of the hands, nod the head, and push up. Or you can even roll onto your side and then come up to sitting. And then from here, have the knees up, feet flat on the floor, shoulders back and down, lengthening up through the back of the neck. And then see if you can, once you've got your tummy engaged there, hover the feet off the floor, and then you cross the right ankle over the left ankle, and balance. Hold that there. And then see if you can hold on to a beach ball in front of you. Keeping the balance, and then just gently take the ball to one side, bring it back to centre, take the ball to the other side. Trying to keep your legs as stable as you can while you do this. So you're working kind of from the other end, the exercise that you've just done before. And maybe you could make that a little bit bigger. Maybe you could get the elbows to go onto the floor while holding onto that ball. Trying to keep your legs as stable as you can. Of course, you could put your feet onto the floor and just twist if you need to. But if you can, you hover the feet. And then when you're ready, change the crossover. Balance. Elbow to floor, holding onto that ball. You can really feel those tummy muscles working into your waist. If it's altogether too much, of course, you could just sit up, maybe bring the hands into prayer, and just do the twisty bit with the legs bent or straight or crossed. But if you can, you stay with the hovering the feet and you tap your elbow down. If you can go that far, if not, just go as far as you can. Really feel the natural corset of muscle around your middle work. Keep the chin down over the peach. And then we've had enough of that. Hugging the knees into the chest, drop the head over the knees. and stretch.
Then from there, just stretch the legs out. Again, make sure you've got enough mat to roll down on. Reaching forward, tilt the pelvis, create your C curve, and then link by link, bone by bone, all the way back to the floor. Stretch those arms out, stretch through the tummy, lengthen and stretch. Really work those tummy muscles hard so they need a good stretch. And then crossing your right ankle over your left ankle. Take hold of your right wrist with your left hand and do the bend to the side. Stretch down the side of your body. Lift the rib cage and lengthen down the side. Take the rib from the hip. That's not comfortable. Of course, you can take the arms down by your side and just slide your hand down the seam of the trouser leg instead. Just get that bend. You get the stretch down that right side. And then when you're ready, swap to the other side. If you can, arms over the head, if not, just down by your side. Keep the head down, the neck relaxed, the hips on the floor, the shoulders on the floor. It's literally just a bend to the side. Lengthen, stretch. Keep the neck and the shoulders relaxed. And then bring it back to start position. And then bring the hands down by your side. And then if you just want to gently, please roll over onto your front. Taking the forehead down onto the back of one hand, reach behind with the other hand for the foot on the same side. Bring the heel into the bottom, the knees are together, pressing the hip into the floor. Remember, you can lift the head and the shoulders if you want to, but keep your eyes focused on the back of the hand. Then you're not engaging your neck, keeping the shoulders down, pressing that hip into the floor. Get a really good stretch in the quadricep and the hip flexor muscle. You can always get hold of the sock or the trouser leg if you can't get hold of the foot. And then when you're ready, you just change legs. Heel to bottom, knees together, press the hip into the floor. Remember, you can always use the opposite ankle just to ease the leg in if you can't get the foot, the sock, or the trouser leg. And then lifting head and shoulders if you feel you want to. Giving that extra stretch. Work those hip flexors hard, so you need to give them a good stretch. And then replacing that foot, coming up onto the hands and knees. And do your lovely Alby pussycat stretch. Arch the back, drop the head. Pull the tummy button up and in. Get a really good stretch. Open up the vertebrae. Ears pointing down, tailbone pointing down. Keep that tummy, of course, still pulled up and in. And then we've had a really good stretch there. Just relax the back. Walking the hands into the knees. Tucking the toes under. Hover the knees, push the hips up into the air. Walking the hands into the toes with the head down, the knees slightly bent. Engaging the tummy and then slowly come up. Link by link, bone by bone. Up against that imaginary wall. And just focusing on your posture, back of the head and shoulder blades, buttocks and heels in alignment, keeping the chest open. And then drop the right ear down into the shoulder while you slide the left hand down seam of trouser leg. Hold that there. Stretch neck, stretch shoulder. Lengthen the neck. Try and keep the weight even between the feet. Turn the head and look down at that right shoulder, keeping the chest open. Slowly turn the head and look up and behind into the left corner. Just getting flexibility into the neck. Then gently dropping the chin all the way down, slide those shoulder blades down, tailbone pointing down, so you've still got your zip up and hollow. And slide the shoulders all the way down away from the ears. Get the length through the back of the neck. Lifting the head up. Drop the left ear while the right hand slides down. Again, stretching the neck and the shoulder. Try not to lean over at all, keeping the weight even still between the feet. Turning the head and looking down at that left shoulder. Hold and give it a stretch. Then gently turn the head and look up and behind to the right. Try not to move your torso at all. And gently drop the chin all the way down into the chest, lifting the head. Taking all the weight on that left leg, slide the right heel out in front of you, bend the left knee, rest the hands in the centre of that left thigh and push your right buttock up towards the ceiling. Turn the toes up, push the heel away, then you get a really good stretch to the back of the leg. Hold that there. Tummy engaged because there's a slight element of balance going on here as well. And sliding the leg in and change. Take all the weight on that right leg, slide the left leg out. Keep it straight, rest the hands in the centre of that right thigh. Ease the buttock up, push the heel away, hamstring and calf stretch. Lengthen through that leg. Hold and stretch. And then relax, bring the leg back in, slowly come up and then release those shoulders forward, up and round and back and down. Just get those shoulders moving. Big, big, big shoulder roll. Keeping the chest open. And then float the arms up and do a big stretch. You've done a lot of work for your middle, so get a good stretch. Press that left foot into the floor while you lean to your right, keeping that left shoulder back. Lengthen up again, arms by the ears by the arms, and stretch. Pressing the right foot into the floor, keeping the right shoulder back. Bringing it back again, pressing down through that thick custard with the arms, shoulders back and down. Take the feet a little bit apart, and then just loosen up. Done a lot for your middle there. I was going to say this morning, it might be afternoon, it might be evening when you're doing this. For me, it's the morning. And then you just twist, twist, twist. Lift the heel, loosen it all up around your middle. Let the arms dangle. And there we are, session number 24. And as I always say, I hope you're still there. And I'm not just talking to myself. I know I'm not, because you're sending me very generous contribution, for which I am, of course, very grateful. And please keep in touch. Let me know if there's anything you want me to do. And don't forget that relaxation session, which is at the end of number 6. So if you need to relax, which we all do at the moment, then use that again and again. See you next week. Bye for now.